What's up, witches? If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if you're old here, welcome back to my channel. I just got off of two absolutely marvelous days of being outside with friends and playing music and having a slice of normalcy that we hadn't experienced in a couple of years. And I still have outdoor hair and I still have outdoor brain. So, today's unboxing is going to be not deep metaphysical truths, or maybe there will be, but that's not my intention. My intention is to just continue to ride this wonderful wave of lightness that we experienced this weekend. The deck I'm bringing to you today is one that I purchased because of a VR response that I did of my adorable decks. And I did the Oracle version, but when I went to do the Tarot version, which I have not yet done, and I haven't because I discovered I really don't have a lot of Tarot decks that I would consider adorable. So I went on a hunt and I found this. This is the Chubby Bun deck. It's version 2, it says, by Destiny. Chubby Bun 79 adorable tarot cards. Copy number, wait a minute here, hold up, my little magnifier. This says copy number Chubby Bun 87 out of 1,000. I did not know this was a numbered copy. Oh my God. I am very happy about this. So here it says Chubby Bun version 2, 79 cards, major 22, minor 40, court 16, squirrel 1. It's absolutely adorable just from the outside. So yeah, that's the copy number. On the bottom, the copyright is 2021, made in Thailand. Ooh. And let's look at the back here. So we just see some images, and I won't wait for those to pop in because we will zoom in. But warning, I am about to murder some people's names. I humbly apologize. I will do my best. Author is, it must be Nate, but it looks like it says mate, so it could be Mate. Horo number. Artwork is Sin Famfat or Fomfat. An artist is Jujir, so it's all caps Jujiir, and Pet Pod Pot. So, I mean, the names themselves are adorable to my mouth. Okay. One more in there. Come out. And that's the squirrel card that wanted to stay in. So, here is... Oh, okay. I'm going to put it on the back because I just saw a number. Here are the backs. But I bet you'd rather see them close up. Okay, here are the backs. Sorry, I have to look at my time so I know where to edit. Here are the backs, and look at these adorable little buns in anime style. They each have like a sun behind their heads, and just the soft, springy, pastel-y colors are happy making. Let's turn them. It is a very manageable size deck. This feels like, original RWS decks. Very easy to get your hand around. And we start off in the suits. And right off, we can tell that we are dealing with very traditional Waite-Smith imagery. The dove coming down with the host, but on the host is a little carrot. And we have a W for water, one would assume. We'll see if that carries through the other aces. Lotuses, so there's some nice detail here, but again, we've got that anime style or manga style. Look at these buns. Oh my God. So we have the caduceus in the sky, but of course it's a carrot. This would, I think I'm going to be pairing this with the carrot cards. Oh my God. Here's the Two of Cups. The font is interesting. We've got these little marks above a couple of the letters. Little headbands. Look at the Three of Cups. I mean, you cannot help but just go, oh. Oh yeah, look at this. I mean, that's even better than regular Waite Smith. I'm sulking. I don't want to know what you have to offer. I'm not ready to talk. It's the Five of Cups. Focusing on loss. Look at the red and the green coming out of the cups. These are very descriptive. So even though we have these simplified and adorabified images, the way they are depicted really brings description to them. And so even if you don't have the standard Waite Smith internalized, this is going to tell you a story. Bless you. Clearly, we are looking towards what's been lost, and there's this river, so it's like we've come across, we've had an emotional journey, or there's an emotional journey back to home, but the thing is we've turned our back on what we still have. And oh look, there's a bridge. These are wonderful. And so the fact that obviously there's no book, no problem. Here's the Six of Cups. And you get the little bun back there, but yes, look, I'm giving you this. Oh, younger one. So we get this idea, and it's so funny because I'm getting things kind of triggered that I don't from the decks that I'm so familiar with. And this is why it's a good thing to get new decks that are similar to the system you already use, because it's a freshening. It can refresh how you look at something. And could very well be that the standard RWS, can't think of it right now, has all of these things in it, but since they're fresh to my eyes, I'm picking them out. I'm not blind to them. But we have that sense of the older passing down to the younger. So it does have that idea of lineage and memory. Excellent. Here's the Seven of Cups. And yes, we have all the familiar offerings in those cups. The Eight. Look at how they've crossed water here. Look at the sadness in the moon. Oh, wow. Here's the wish card. That's a self-satisfied bun. And there's the Ten of Cups. The Page. The Knight. This would be a great starter deck. Except you'd have to get a book. The Queen. Because they really are being faithful to, like, for instance, the fact that the Queen of Cups sits on dry land, but the King of Cups sits in the water. You know? Again, I've only gotten through one suit. I'm glad I picked this deck today because it's really fun. Here's the swords. We have a wooden sword. Isn't that adorable? So we're going to be safe. We're taking care. This is an inner child deck. Taking care of that inner child. Yes, there are big scary things, but we're going to deal with them in a safe way. I mean, here's the Two with the blindfold. The Three, and the heart is a carrot. So we're staying away. I can't wait till we get to the end of the sword. Staying away from these, you know, graphically disturbing images that are in the traditional. The rain pouring down. There's the Four. The carrot in the window. Just the consistency is wonderful, both in referencing the traditional and in just how they're dealing with things stylistically. The Six, look at him hiding behind this. Oh, see, little things like that. You see the shadow on the sword as if they're like hiding behind and peeking through the cracks. So you've got this idea of fear and trepidation about what lies ahead. We've left familiar territory. We have not yet arrived in new territory, on the water, transitioning in that emotional. And look at how the water is very rough on one side and very calm on the other side. Oh, I could go on. On the right side, so the right side is left brain. Right side of the body controls, or left brain controls right side of the body. So we're talking about the logical mind, and here is where we get into rocky emotions by the stories we tell ourselves. If we can switch into right brain and the female side, the experiential side, the waters get much calmer. And we can see land in sight. Dang. Okay. Here's the thief card. And look at like I said, there are things here that I do not recall from the standard. There's two buns sitting at a campfire. Look at the smoke going up. Fascinating. Here's the 8. So we do have a difference where it's not like, and the addition of water, that I'm blindfolded and just this turn of the head, there's a stubbornness to it. There's a willfulness. I don't want to see. I don't want to see that there's a clear path ahead of me. It's in the water, though. I have to deal with emotions in order to walk out of this thing that I am stubbornly characterizing as a trap, not recognizing that I have put myself here. And if I just open my eyes and I'm willing to step into my emotions, there's a path. And just past this stuff, we're back on dry land. Oh my God. Oh, Bon. Oh. And then 10 of Swords, so there's like a red blanket. So we see swords piercing, but we don't see them as graphically as we could. It's very gentle with its messages, but really descriptive. There's the page, and I love this. The Page of Swords in the Waite-Smith. The reason Hanson Roberts was such a revelation to me when I got it can be just condensed to that difference between the Waite-Smith Page of Swords, where he's like, strong ideas. The Hanson Roberts has this fear look, because it's the youngest of the courts, and we're just now getting used to, I have to deal with conflict in my life, and how do I do this? And so I see that fear and trepidation here. Then there's the Knight, and the King. Oh, the Queen, sorry. And the King. And we have people facing the way they traditionally it's very faithful. Here's the Ace of Wands. And the 2. That one is bracketed to stand up. It's connected to the wall. Okay, I'm going to keep going or I will be here forever. I'm thinking this is going to be a really short video. Here's the ships coming in. And, so many people talk about launching a project and ships going out. I've always seen it as ships coming in. And I find it fascinating, particularly if we look from the A.E. Waite, where he starts with the King and moves back and sees the aces as the culmination of those suits, as the pure final expression of the element. So if we look at it that way, then this is surely ships coming in, because we're getting very close to, that culminating moment. Either way, you can look at it either way. It could be ships coming in here, ships going out there, or, Four of Wands, look how cute. I feel like I'm getting reintroduced to something that is so familiar in a lot of ways. And, this is why don't ever take something like this as, tarot light or kind of a faux tarot, or, not a serious tool of divination. You just don't. The 5 of Wands, they're all unhappy. This one's kind of ready to cooperate, but nobody knows what to do. There's the Victory card. The 7, yeah, he's a little concerned. You would think these very simple little faces couldn't express, but they're so expressive. The 8 of Wands, the 9. And, the Bound head is something that I've always overlooked in this card. I see it as setting boundaries. But that bound head, why do we need to set the boundaries? Because I got hit. And I need to know how to say no. And there's the Ten of Wands. Look at the sweat. Key detail. Here's the Page. And the Knight. And the Queen with the kitty. And the King with the lizard. Ace of Pentacles. Got a happy face, but we've got the rocky emotions and the ships. I love it. Look at the carrots everywhere. There's the Four. Look at, yes, he's looking very self-satisfied. Oh. Carrots in the window again. And look at the face here. This is interesting. Everybody's kind of frowning. So there is no joy being exchanged. These people, you know, these buns are in bad circumstances and in need, and they are receiving. But the scale here says it's being measured out. It also can say this creates the balance between those that have more than enough and those that have less than enough. And so a lot of different ways that can be looked at, but what's key here is that nobody looks happy. Nobody is looking happy. This is pity rather than compassion. Fascinating. Reassessing, taking a break. Was it worth all the work? Here's the practice, apprenticeship. I just love the familiarity, the fresh familiarity of these. Here's the Nine of Pentacles. And the 10. Look at the puppies. And again, we have this idea of nobody's looking at anybody else. Everybody's kind of in their own thing here. There's the Page. The Knight that doesn't go anywhere. The Queen. And the King. And now the majors. I'm looking forward to this. Here's the Fool. Yep. And the Magician holding a carrot. So we have all of the tools on the table, but he's holding a carrot up. We have the Lily and the Rose. Here's the High Priestess with the veil. I mean, it's beautifully rendered. And this says carrot. Usually it says that, you know, Taro, Rota, what is it? Ator. Or Torah, you know. It says carrot, which has Rota, Ator, Taro in it. Here is the Empress. I wish she had baby buns all around her. Here's the Emperor with adorable little ram's heads. The Hierophant. The Lovers. The Chariot. Strength. Oh, Gilly. Hermit. I have not much to add to these, really. Yes, I do. Look at the snow. Look at the shivers. Okay, new layer here. Look at the calm expression, the light I'm holding out, standing on this little, like, plateau, and we see snow beneath them, but it could be snow and clouds, you know, very, very high up. But there's snow on top of this bun, and this bun is shivering, but willing to endure. Willing to endure discomfort in order to shine a light. Okay, so here's the eagle, there's the angel, there's the bull, and there's the lion. You see the little horns and the lion. So these are buns wearing little costumes, so you can see what they are. And I like that this is kind of sun, you know, sun moon. Here's Justice. It's not Hanged Man, it's Hanged Bunny. The Hanged Bunny. Here's the Death card. Death is looking very stern. There's a dead person. These people are grieving, but also welcoming. And the sun coming up between the towers. The bun skeleton with the skeleton ears. I love it. Temperance. The devil. Still adorable. The tower. Ah. The star. The moon. I was wondering how, if they would do like the crayfish, but we've got a bun and a bun and a bun. And it's called Luna. Wobble chin. It's called Luna instead of moon. And this one, of course, is called Sol. I'm glad they've personified them to that degree. Here's Judgment and World. 20. Okay. I saw the number on this when it fell. This is number 21, World. This is number 23, Happy Squirrel. So we've got a squirrel and a squirrel and a bun. The stripes were throwing me there. I wonder if there are other, like if you get a different one of these, they must have a deck. I want to know more, and there's no information. So I will be going to the interwebs to look for more information on these authors and artists. I am just in love with this sweet, sweet little deck. Let me light my charcoal. Oh, here's what I did that makes a lot of sense. See these? I've had these forever, and I have another brass pair too that I keep tucked away because I'd rather live dangerously and burn myself. No, I wouldn't. That's why I got them out. Okay, so let's do a little blessing here for this sweet, sweet, adorable, and very interesting and useful deck. It's kind of like, the carrot cards are a very serious oracle, but it's a serious oracle that you can grab when you need a light touch, when you need spirit to speak with you, gently. So there we have air and fire to purify and charge, water and earth and ocean water to bless and make whole, and the bell to activate the spirit of divination that was drawn in by these wonderful artists. May that awaken and our connection be strong, and I welcome my guides and guardians, allies and ancestors to help from my side, and I offer you fresh water and the fire of Azrael. Okay, the first shuffle. I think this is going to be good. All right, I got to get my foot down on the floor. When I start shuffling and start putting intention in, I need my feet flat on the floor so energy moves better. Okay, so we are shuffling, and our standard question is, how may we move from the point where we find ourselves today? First of all, how do we come into acceptance of where we are today? And then, what do we need to know right now in order to move away from a mindset of survival into a sense of thriving? And I phrase it that way because there are times where we really are in survival mode. But I think most of the time in our culture, we just, because of the stress of our lifestyles, we feel like we're in survival mode. When if we really knew, we're dealing clearly with what it means to actually just be struggling for survival, we would, okay, they don't want to be shuffled that way anymore. We would realize that a lot of it is mindset. This idea that I'm only surviving is mindset. And it also says, where do we, I see, I put my candle out with my shoveling. Where do we see ourselves? Where do we place our focus is what I want to say. If we're only focusing on the fears of our lives, then we are going to, and most of those fears are about the future, we are going to feel like we're in survival mode. Whereas if we are spending enough time, an equal or much greater amount of time, focusing on what's abundant and beautiful and wonderful about our lives, things would be very different. Okay, I've gotten 3 that fell out. I'm going to do them this way. We have the Star, Justice, and the Queen of Cups. I think I'm going to do a 9 card here. So, Justice in the middle. Look at her in the middle, balancing things out. The Star talks about hope and positivity and inspiration. So, I mean, this was a very good shuffle. You saw how many times I was shuffling while I was talking. The Star really is about that blending of body and mind and emotion. The emotions are physical things, and the Star kind of bridges the conscious and the unconscious, the thinking body, the feeling body, and the water being poured out, the pouring out of emotion, the pouring out of compassion. So Star is compassion, hope, inspiration, looking up. That's that mindset of seeing things in terms of their beauty. And I'm being reminded here of the Japanese aesthetic of wabi-sabi, which I can never remember which one's which, but one of them talks about the beauty of organic natural decay, and the other one talks about, they both talk about flaw, like the inherent flaw in something. And so when Japanese potters make things for tea ceremony, they will put a flaw into the cup because there's beauty in the imperfection of everything, and there is beauty in natural decay. So that's wabi-sabi. So this looking positively, and Justice says to justify, and there's a term justify, like when you're using, when you're typing something, and you're looking at how you want the margins, and they will call it justified. Do you want it right justified, which means all the letters line up on the right, left justified? So justify can mean to line things up. So in the center here, we're trying to get things lined up. We're trying to get our lives into alignment with our spirit, with our sense of hope, our sense of optimism, our sense of inspiration, our actual connection to spirit. When the Star card comes up, for individual people, it can also talk about it's the card of artists because of that connection to spirit, that open channel to bring in inspiration and ideas to create from. And it can also talk about those that work in healing professions. So all of this healing energy running through, and we need to justify it. And look who's on the other side, the Queen of Cups. So being fully in touch and willing to look in to the emotional body, to rely on our own psychic sense, which to me is a function of the emotions. Look at all the water. But then we have the rational mind of Justice saying, I'm going to hold up the truth and the scale, so we keep things in balance between the emotional, the logical. And look, we've gotten majors and queens. We have nothing but majors and queens so far. Look at this. Oh, there's a wand. Okay, I'm just going to take it, row at a time. Here is the Hierophant, the Queen of Wands in the middle, and the Seven of Wands. So look at the Queen of Wands. She's kind of looking up to this Queen of Cups. And she's not looking as happy as the Queen of Cups. She's looking much more focused. So she's saying, I have something creative to express. The Hierophant really brings things firmly into structure, into rules, into schedules, into I have to do there are certain obligations I have. I have to, pay my dues. This talks about doing devotion, pay, this is how I'm reading it intuitively, and we don't have a book to look at, right? I mean, I know what the traditional are, but this deck really is intuitively triggering for me. It's wonderful. So we need to work with this, all this inspiration, and it's wonderful and airy fairy, but we need to bring it into structure. We need to put a schedule to it. And remember that the difference between a dream and a plan is a calendar. So we need to control things in a way. We need to wrangle, to corral our inspiration into a creative vision. So the inspiration is that energy that hits. And now Queen of Wands is like, I'm inspired to do this specific thing. And she's looking up to the Queen of Cups saying, how's that feel? Does this feel good? Can we commit to this? Because commitment to me is a function of the emotional body, because it says, I am going to do this regardless of how I feel about it. I am, I'm committed. And then we've got Seven of Wands here. And look at that same expression, just slight frown. It's saying, and then I'm going to have to stand my ground. I'm going to have to protect the time that I set aside for this. I'm going to have to discipline myself. Discipline myself enough to take this wonderful inspiration and all this stuff and bring it into an actual creative idea, and then I'm going to have to stand my ground and set some boundaries so that I can accomplish this. Now we have another major Wheel of Fortune and an ace. More cups. We don't have any swords yet. So down here, Wheel of Fortune says, and then fortune is on our side because we've taken the steps we need to take. We've got this wonderful inspirational level. We've got this practical level. And then Wheel of Fortune, to me, always talks about organic change. But it says when you put the pieces in place, things naturally move forward. We naturally move forward when we start taking steps. So wheel can also say that then we have to turn the wheel. We actually have to take each step forward. And that wheel is repeated in this Ace of Pentacles. That's the first step. That's the first actual physical, practical step. What do I need to do first? And then the Two of Cups here is, who can I be accountable to? Who can I share this joy with? Here's what I'm doing. And, when we do really start working and moving ahead, we feel enthused and emotionally, and we do want to share it with someone. So this reading is really about that feeling of stuckness. And, okay, can I come up with her name? Is it Catherine, I think, that got me the Carla Titi's deck? No. Anyway, the one that sent me I am so sorry, weekend brain, like I said, but the one that sent me the question of how do we procrastinators get unstuck? And I think this is an unstuck thing. So we have to spend time with our emotions, and we have to spend time claiming time, bringing our time into balance so that we make space for this inspiration that wants to come in. We have to connect. We actually have to take responsibility for connecting to spirit, for opening the door and saying, I need some inspiration. And then we take these practical steps, we hem it in, come up with an actual idea, protect that idea, take the actual first steps, and we start moving forward. And then the Tower. What? Okay. 10. Holy shit, you guys. What do I do with this? So, impromptu lesson on what to do when Spirit throws you a fucking curveball. So we have this thing going forward, and then we have the Tower. All right, so the Tower overall here says, externally, I mean, certainly it's a challenge to the structure. So the structure that gets challenged here is the structure that is inflexible. I got channel open here, you guys. Is the structure that is inflexible. So while we have this structure, we can't go at it dogmatically. Looking at Justice card here, we need it to be justified. We need the structure to be part of the inspiration and the emotions. Everything needs to be fluid and flowing. So we can't get dogmatic about it. We need, we will be standing our ground. And these, look at both of these kind of looking up in this way. So then what do we do when all hell breaks loose? And I think this is also an acknowledgement that if we're waiting for things externally to calm down in order to get somewhere, internally, it's not going to happen. We are in chaos right now. We're in a time of transformation, which means there are a lot of things that we used to be able to count on that are breaking down. And a lot of things that we never thought we'd see or experience are happening. Our accustomed way of life over the long term is being challenged on a daily basis by things beyond our control, like the weather, like, global politics, but that's only beyond our control if we take no action at the local level, no action when we are given, a choice in things. Still, this is an acknowledgement that the shit is still going to be busting loose, but here is how we keep our happy place. We really look towards staying connected to Spirit. I mean, that's first and foremost, staying connected to our guides on the daily. Let's offer some more Fire of Azrael to them here and now. On the daily, checking in, asking for their support, listening, doing our devotions, doing a scheduled practice. The Hierophant can talk about schedules as well. That's what moves things forward. So if I read down this way, connect with guides, put it into a structure, this is what changes our fortune and moves things forward. We bring things into balance, we weigh out, and we decide that we need to, give more to ourselves. Whoops, hold on.
Afternoon meds, it's 2 o'clock.
Yes, I know, afternoon meds, it's 2 o'clock p.m. Okay, sorry. And then, we take responsibility and become focused on what can I create right now that will bring me some joy, that will be a good first step, physical first step. Then we've got this being in touch with our intuition, trusting that intuition, setting our boundaries where we need to, deciding how much we let in of the outside world, and then also connecting with a partner, a trusted friend, having an emotional connection there somewhere, which can be a healing thing as well, because the chaos externally isn't changing in the least. Wow! Chubby buns! I have them. This deck is fucking incredible. I do not remember what I paid for it. I do know that I got it through Amazon, and it wasn't too expensive because I can't afford $40 and $50 and $60 decks. But holy crap, you guys, I thought, I need this deck because it's so adorable. It really is truly straight up adorable, and I need that to, expand my collection in that way. But I really did not expect this. And it is a deck I will be reaching for often. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, authors of the Chubby Buns. It's a numbered deck. I mean, wow, what just it's amazing. If you liked this, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, think about doing that. And look down below, there is an Amazon wish list. And if you purchase me a deck off that wish list, I will read for you on my unboxing video. And you can send me a question via, Amazon's, tell me who you are. You can give me your real name or not, it doesn't matter. But if you have a specific question for just you or one that pertains to the collective as well, it doesn't matter, send it to me. I will read for you. There's also a couple ways you can support the channel down below if you're so inclined. And what else? Oh, there's a Magic Planet link. I keep forgetting I have this. If you want to buy something from Magic Planet, and they have amazing stuff, you can get a little discount by using the code that's listed below. I don't get anything from it. Oh, I do. I rack up points, and then at a certain point I get a discount too. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you're rushing to buy this deck, because holy shit, what a wonderful surprise. Happy Squirrel. I don't know what that means, but I mean, this deck is so intuitive that why would I have an issue with a happy squirrel if it comes up? Anyway, you guys, I will see you again on another unboxing, and also on Wednesday night live streams, which on this Wednesday, you better believe Chubby Bun is going to be there. Whoopsie, hold on. Let me come to center stage again. Thank you for hanging out with me. Till I see you next time, this is Luna. Blessed be.